Good evening and welcome to the National Museum of Mexican Art Gala de Arte Noche de Encanto. Please find your seats as we're about to begin our program. Good evening and welcome to the National Museum of Mexican Art Gala de Arte Noche de Encanto. Please find your seats as we're about to begin our program. This is Pilsen, historic heart of the Mexican community in Chicago. Today, Pilsen streets are lined with cafes, restaurants, art galleries, and small businesses. In Pilsen, there is a gem of a museum called the National Museum of Mexican Art. It first opened its doors in 1987, the dream of President and founder Carlos Tortolero, along with a handful of his fellow educators. Their vision was to create a place of pride for Mexicans and Mexican Americans, where Mexican art and culture from both sides of the border would be displayed. For at that time, there was no place where this was done. Mexican art and culture were completely missing from existing cultural institutions. Today, 37 years after the museum's founding, the National Museum of Mexican Art has developed into a place of wonder. The National Museum of Mexican Art has a cultural philosophy, sin fronteras, no borders. We showcase the beauty and richness of the Mexican culture as it has manifested itself on both sides of the border. The museum has accomplished much over 3 decades. It has amassed a permanent collection of artwork, 10,000 pieces strong, the best of its kind in the country. Paintings, sculpture, prints, photographs, and arte popular tell the story of Mexican art and culture in our own words, through our own voice, una voz mexicana. As an accredited museum, the National Museum of Mexican Art benchmarks itself against the best museums in the country. From the beginning, the museum's founders envisioned an institution accessible to all, students, families, and the community at large. That's why admission to the museum is free to all every day. A museum like the National Museum of Mexican Art, one that is based in a community, has the ability and also the responsibility to reach a broad intersection of Chicago and its visitors. Tonight, we welcome you to the National Museum of Mexican Art's annual Gala de Arte. We are here to take pride in what the museum has accomplished, as well as raise the funds to help us continue on this path. Since our last gala, the museum has accomplished so much. The museum's Arte Diseño Chicago exhibit, part of the Terra Foundation for American Art, Art Design Chicago initiative, was selected by Chicago Tribune's Steve Johnson as the best of Chicago Museum's temporary exhibitions in 2018. The museum continued our 32-year tradition of celebrating Dia de los Muertos with a phenomenal exhibition entitled Dia de los Muertos, A Spiritual Legacy, and our annual Day of the Dead Chicago Festival. We are proud to expose more and more people to this celebration of life and death each year, especially as Day of the Dead becomes more well known. There is always so much to see and do at the National Museum of Mexican Art. We have a great year ahead of us, thanks to supporters like you. This year, we celebrate the first Mexican-American congressman representing the state of Illinois and our country, Jesus Chuy Garcia, with the museum's Arthur R. Velasquez Award. We also celebrate Deputy Governor Jesse Reese, a former National Museum of Mexican Art trustee who has done so much to help build the museum into what it is today. And now, to welcome you to this year's Gala de Arte ABC7 anchor and reporter Rob Alges.